All right, this is going to continue naming ionic compounds with polyatomic ions, part 2. Here what we're looking at is, instead of writing formulas, we're going to start naming these. So again, this is where you really got to know your polyatomics. You really have to know them. So here we go, AlPO3. So first step, you just write the name, aluminum. Second step, you write the anion name. You have to be able to identify that PO3 is the anion, and that is phosphite. There you go. Okay, so let's see here. We have this one right here. So the first one is always the cation, so we're going to say calcium. And then we have to recognize this ClO3 as the polyatomic ion, and that's going to be chlorate. And there you go. All right, let's do a little homework here. So here we're going to write the formula. So just write oxidation state, ATE. ATE, you need to go to your chart and find selenite, and that's SeO4, and that has a -2 charge. You're going to crisscross the 2 and the 2 there. Come up to be Ca2SeO4 2, and since that's a 2-to-2 ratio, 2 calciums to 2 selenites, we can go ahead and factor that down to 1, and then I don't really need my parentheses, so there you go, and you could write them a little bit closer. And there you go. Okay, magnesium. Magnesium is +2. Nitrite. Nitrite's one of the ones that you need to memorize. So this is going to go here. This is going to go here. So MgNO2, 2. Rubidium, +1. Dichromate. Find dichromate. Cr2O7, -2. So this will come out to be Rb2, Cr2O7. Again, crisscross the 2, crisscross the 1. I don't need the 1, and I don't need the parentheses. Ammonium. Now, ammonium is a cation, positive polyatomic. And hydroxide, the -1, so this comes out to be NH4OH. So questions come up about how many different elements do we have here in this thing. We have a nitrogen, we have a hydrogen, and we have an oxygen. So there's 3 different elements. How many nitrogens do we have? 1. 1 nitrogen. How many oxygens? 1. And how many hydrogens? Well, we have 4 here and 1 here. So we have a total of 5 hydrogens. Lithium, +1. Periodate. That's going to be IO4, -1. +1, -1. They just are at a 1-to-1 ratio. Potassium and sulfate. Sulfate is one of the ones that you need to memorize, and that's SO4. 2. 2 is going to go here. 1 is going to go here. And since there's 1 sulfate, I don't need to write the parentheses. All right, so let's name these. Again, this is what you have to know your polyatomics. Okay, there's the polyatomic. So this is going to be sodium, bicarbonate. This one's going to be, number 8 is going to be beryllium. And CHO2 is formate. This one is hydrogen peroxide. Indium. And HSO4 is called bisulfate. When it's sulfate with a hydrogen there, you can either call it bisulfate or hydrogen sulfate. Bi, in this case, means hydrogen. Francium, phosphate. So here, oxalate is C2O4, but when you say you add a hydrogen to that. Now oxalate has a -2 charge, and this has a +1. So overall, this would equal a -1 charge. So that's why the hydrogen oxalate has a -1 charge. The rest of these are just straight from you learning the polyatomics.